Uh, I had a very interesting experience with that company. I don't want to have a discussion too much on my experience at the moment, I think, until everything has been resolved. But um, I'm a naturalist. I believe that people can heal themselves with natural remedies, and I don't feel as if you need to take an extensive amount of vitamins to recover from anything. I mean, you get your vitamins from the healthy solution if you're eating healthy, right? And if you're exercising, right? So all of that kind of works together. As I said, I was in the process of training myself and training other people to be a personal trainer. I'm not, I'm not fit anymore. So that's just how it is. So before I start anything, I think it's important to look back on the 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 animator who created Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama. I believe that's pronounced correctly. He also did a couple of other anime things when I was growing up. So I lived in Japan in the 80s, and I think Dragon Ball Z and a couple of other older like cartoons and series that he came up with, I had been watching in Japanese for years. And I'm like, oh, yeah, these are like great. I come to the States and they're translated into English. And I was like, what is going on here? So to have lived in Japan during the time that these things were first created was amazing. There are a lot of comics out there or anime out there that most people probably would not know about if you had might not have lived in Japan. So I don't have a whole list of them, but Dragon Ball Z. My husband likes to collect his characters. These are actually going up for sale on my Poshmark. So I have Poshmark items that I sell regularly. These are animation. This is new. So these are actually being sold on my Poshmark if you're interested in purchasing them. And actually, this is a book on anime. It doesn't give you the overall like individual storylines for each one of the comics or animation. I think it's just more abbreviated version of a variety of them. Okay, so I didn't want to talk too much about everything at once, but it was, I think, important to kind of bring up that very, very famous animator has passed away March 1st, I believe. And I hadn't brought it up before because I was dealing with all these other things. So, yeah, that's my brief discussion. I know that there are probably not a lot of people in my space at the moment. Let me warm up my fingers. So when I teach music, I'm actually teaching art and music. That's what I do, right? So let's do a warm up. We're going to start with C major and then arpeggio. Hmm. Okay. And I go a little wonk sometimes too, okay? So when you're practicing music, before you learn how to play the piano, it's important to understand and to have a good, like I was teaching kids from ground zero. I don't have it on a student based, I don't have young people on here because I'm trying to get monetized. And in order to get monetized on YouTube, there's a layout that you have to do. And having it accessible for children is not going to get it monetized, unfortunately. So I've had to kind of work around YouTube's kind of like direction as to how to go about doing that. And monetization on YouTube is absolutely enormous. It's like really, really important. So even if you are a beginner and you're starting music from ground zero, I would generally start with teaching people teaching people how to understand what the keyboard looks like. So these are all the notes that I had written before. And I have, like, for instance, if you do decide to join me on courses or whatever, I will give you guys this packet to start with. Where is my... Here. This is the first one that I show people. So I show people how to read the notes. I had this in one of my videos already. So the more extensive version is in one of the videos. What key signatures there are, the circle of fifths, and, you know, the major scales on the outside. This is a major scale, minor scale, or the opposite of C major. In this case is A minor. So this is C major, A minor. Okay, so you can hear the difference. And you can actually see it when you play it on the piano for yourself. Okay, so what I do on this channel is a little bit more advanced, where I'm actually going beyond the music theory and going into composing music. So it's not for, I don't think that I have beginner stuff on here, but I think it's more for people that are interested in composing music and learning how to, I don't know, utilize things that they have around them or instruments that they got and creating music. So let me just warm up with one of my pieces. Composition, but I could not have gotten to that if I didn't know my scales. And then it changes to A minor. That's A minor. Oh, D minor. So from C to D minor. Okay, so that's basically what that is. Okay, so I'm warming up my fingers with pieces that I know already. That's what I usually tell my students. And then when I had other students, I was actually using this as the starting book. So I usually make copies from this book. And then I show students how to write the notes in. Okay, how to write the notes and how to read the music, how the timing works with the songs. And there are plenty of beginner books, but it is important to generally have, like, people always say, oh, no, don't write the notes in. But I do feel as if I hadn't started showing people how to start writing notes in on their own, you can't I mean, you can move people quickly without writing the notes in, but I do recommend when you're first starting off, writing notes in to start reading like the music and understanding how to read music. And reading music and music is also important. So you don't just learn how to play by ear like a lot of musicians do, but also learn to read the music, which is important. Which is how I was able to get jobs, because I taught how to read music and then I taught how to do it the way a lot of musicians and bands would probably do it without reading the music. So you have the both, which is important. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let's start. Ooh, off. Call it a warm up. Yeah, so that's a warm up. Let's try something. We're going to break it down a piece, for instance. This is the simpler version of the minuet, right? Everybody knows that. So I like this because it has a combination of songs. Okay, so classical music is also important to learn because it gives you the technical mathematical formulas. And once you have all of that down, which takes many, many years, now I've been playing for a long time. I'm not perfect, but it takes many years to get to a stage of feeling confident enough to break away from some of the stuff, have learned enough from your ear, and to start composing. So I don't think producing and composing is a beginner thing. I do think you have to have many years in training to understand how to make it work. And I'm not even like anywhere near anything. I'm just getting out there and showing people what I'm capable of doing, because for many years I was teaching it. So I never had the space or the time or the accessibility to produce music of my, well, I mean, I've produced music, but to compose music without it being in a classroom. So this is like kind of like a little bit of a classroom environment and a little bit of not of a classroom environment. So that being said, we're going to work on a composition now. From scratch, I like my Asian, my Japanese type of sound, so we're probably going to try something in a minor. So I'm going to get the loops out right now. We have it connected to the piano. Finally, it's working again, which is, it was not working for a while. Let's do drums, all drums. Make sure the volume's not too high. Before we do anything, let's lower the, So right now I'm changing the tempo, which is the time, which is the, the tempo. People call it beats per minute. So I'm just, let's do 85 just to start. 4/4 C major. Let's not do C major. Let's go A minor. A minor. I like A minor. It might change. We'll see. Okay, so my mom says that this was the first piece I ever composed at the age of 6. I'll have to take her word for that. Okay, so let's see if we can find some beats. I sort of like that. We could try that. Okay, let's test that out. Okay, so we're going to use that and create loops. Let's just, so I'm not making, I do like that. Let's do this. Okay, so we're just adding in, it's a little bit different than when you're doing it on your phone or your iPad, because it's a larger screen. So having a larger screen, it does make it easier to see what you're doing. You can sit down and do this. I'm standing because it's just easier at the moment. And then you can create the loops and all that stuff. So all the things that I've been doing it this way. Okay. And we're going to try. I like to do a couple of different sounds. And yeah, you can create your own beats on like Logic, right? Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. Wait, where'd it go? Okay. I'm just going to add sounds that I like right now. It doesn't have to be. Oh, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is because it's just easier to not worry about copyright claims. So when you're doing production, you can create your own like versions of like pop songs, which are covers. But for instance, in the backgrounds that I've done for like Facebook and YouTube, I've sort of created my own sounds because it's not caused any complications. So if you're the type of person that wants to learn like how to do that kind of stuff for online purposes, that is what I do. That's the direction I kind of do because I know that the internet is very interesting. Even when you're uploading tracks on like Spotify and SoundCloud and all that stuff, it does have to be original music. So you can't just, this becomes important if you want to be serious about social media, right? I don't know why people are calling me from strange places. Oh, I would have to download other sounds. I don't want to do that right now. copy for me. Okay, let's do this for now. We're going to create loops. Let's just see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of create these. So let's just copy and paste. We're going to do a minute or so. Copy, copy, paste. I'm going to sit down for this. Paste. And I don't want to create it as a long loop because what I'm going to do is break it up and move things around once I have a whole bunch of them together. I know there's a short way of doing this, but I'm generally just doing it this way because I never remember the shortcuts. So I'm just working off of what I can do. I probably could copy and paste the whole thing and then it does that, but I don't want to. How many minutes? Let's check the minutes quickly. Project layout. We have a minute, okay. Paste. So we're not going to do a whole thing, but usually a real song would be about 4 minutes. Lately, I've heard that songs are getting shorter and shorter, so like 2 minutes for some songs in some cases. But the formal way is generally about 4 minutes to create a song. So you would need 4 minutes of creating a loop. So we're just going to do a minute for now. Just if it sounds good, then we'll. Okay, so we do the same thing here. Go back to the beginning. Always remember to press the section that you're going to be copy and pasting. Paste. Paste. I don't know if you can see it from that distance, but since I'm going live, rather than just doing like a video, this is how I'm doing it. And I'm using the iPad to go live versus my phone because I sometimes need my phone here. Ramadan, that's right. That's also a thing. Some of my family is Muslim, so I know that some of my family is celebrating Ramadan, so happy Ramadan to people that might be celebrating that around the world. Okay, and then we go. And then what we're going to do is just break it up. Copy. Copy. Paste. Paste. And the whole Facebook thing, I want to continue with it, but there was such a big glitch that we all thought something happened the other day that I'm like hesitant to stay on there for all the time. So what I wanted to do was actually focus on going live more frequently on YouTube and spending more time in this space because I do feel there is value, a great value to having a good, successful YouTube channel. Facebook is great to connect and keep up with your family. Like I have family around the world who are on Facebook for the purpose of having the access to the messages. But not everybody necessarily uses it for social media. I tested it out. I wasn't too sure. I enjoyed it for the moment. It lasted. It's still, I still have it, but I think my dedication I've now realized is for being on this space. I feel a little bit more productive. I don't feel pressurized. I'm sure there's going to be pressure on here, but I don't feel the pressure that I found on Facebook. So I know not everybody will watch these live. I do understand. I do mention that I try to start these approximately around 12 on Tuesdays. So I do Tuesdays every day here. So if you have any questions, drop some questions, whether it's theory or reading music or, understanding how Facebook works or all those things. I'm personally going to back away a little bit from Facebook. I think I'm just at the stage right now where it's emotionally draining, and my main focus is to generate money, and Poshmark is paving the way for that for me. So I feel as if Poshmark is my more of my go-to than the other platforms. Let's just take out some of these sounds. So now what I'm doing is I'm deleting sections I might not necessarily need. Okay, and then let's trim this out over here. I'm sort of just going eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Pick apart and then take it out. And sometimes it works. And since this is beats at the moment, it's not like going to be a drastic, but it gives the ambiance. What you're doing, what's happening now is you're creating your own loop by using a couple of different sounds. You're creating your own loop, which is, from what Logic and GarageBand says, is okay to do. Now, I don't use Ableton Live, even though I probably do have it somewhere. And Pro Tools is something maybe one day. I don't know. I don't have that yet. So these are all the things that I'm thinking about at the moment. Like the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick apart and take it out. It sort of reminds me of Tetris. Oops. It's like a Tetris moment. This is like the video game part. Right? Oh, come on. Okay, let's see what we have. Just for the... Okay, let's see. Let's see if it works. Pretty interesting. Okay, so you're playing around with sounds at the moment, right? So that's how that works. And then you create like a composition of... Okay, so that's just playing around with noises. I'm not coming up with anything. I should probably start putting my since the computer's now working, putting my stuff back up on. I was going to go through the Spotify route, but I don't know. We'll see. I do like that. Let's see. That's kind of nice if you lower the volume. Okay, so if people have any questions on production or composition or theory and all those things, just, you know, put some messages on here or put some likes or whatever so I know what the deal is in the situation, okay? I like that bongo classic beat, so I'm gonna put that in here. Oops. Oh man. Why does it do that? Drag this over here. Okay, so I'm gonna, maybe I just, yeah, let's do that. I like it. So copy. Paste, paste, paste. And what I could always do is if I want that 4 minutes, I just need to select all. Oops, that's too much. Select all, and what happens is we could do a copy and paste of the whole thing 4 times if I need to. Like I could do that now actually. Let's do that. Let's do the whole copy and paste thing. Where's the, okay. So what we're gonna do is select all. Select all. Okay, what we're gonna do is copy. Copy. Once you feel comfortable with the section, and then paste. Let's see what that does. Paste. Yep, and we're gonna do it. Let's see. Yeah, I copied it twice. One time, how many times? One time. Let's do one more time, paste. And you can change the colors of the design of this, for instance, if you want to do that, paste. How many minutes do I have now? Yeah, a minute. Okay, so you would have to paste a few times. Paste, paste. So what you've done is you've created a ground, a basic section, and then what we're doing now is we're just creating the duplication of that particular section a whole bunch of times. For instance, I don't think let's just leave it at 1 minute and 20. That's good. So now you have a long enough part to actually have beginning, middle, and end for your song. Okay. And yeah, I do the general, and usually what happens is when you're composing stuff, I think people tend to compose similar sounding pieces, so it's not uncommon that you find a piece that I've composed and it sounds very similar to another one that I did. It's just, that's what composers do. We generally keep to the same type of thing. Let's make it louder. Okay, so let's find some other sound. So what you call this right now is just creating a beat. This is beat creation. Okay, so we're gonna find another sound. No, we're gonna try. Let's do electronic keyboard. Let's see what we have in A minor. A minor, we want A minor. So let's do search loop, any signature? No. No. Scale, oh, that's cool. Okay, minor. Okay, let's do minors. A minor. I don't know if I like the sound of that organ. I don't even think if I like that. Okay, so let's see if we can come up with an original. So this is called the section where you're coming up with an idea and you practice like the sound that you like and you keep going until you're ready to actually record it, because without understanding the sound that you're looking for, it's going to be a little hard to record the section. That's how it is. So I'm just going to go back to this kind of idea. What I've done here, I don't know whoever's watching, thanks for watching for a few moments. I went in, I created this whole new type of loop from four different types of loops that I got from Logic. You can make them individually, but it will take longer, which I used to do when I was like younger, back in the 80s. That's what we used to do. The 80s and 90s, this is like, you'd create your own sounds. And then I went in, I created like a whole section for each one of the parts, and then I took sections out and then created a separate new sound and started adding another layer to it. So I'm at the stage where I'm coming up with an idea, and the idea will be manifested into another vision. We're doing A minor. Like the introduction. So then you add a melody onto the general idea. So there are a whole bunch of things you need to do to get to a point of understanding before you start recording a composition. I might use this. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So you could do like a couple of things here. So let's try that. And then you can do. So this is nothing, so going into this whole thing, and I'm glad I'm doing this because then what happens is these videos I can use as reference to go back and redo the composition if I need to. So it's not going to be a long video, but I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Sinta. My show is called Compose Music with Sinta Margot, but I talk about not just music, I also, music and production, I also do art. So I do paintings, and this is one of my pieces on the side over here, and I can make soundproofing. So I can, if people have questions on soundproofing, since I studied the arts, and the arts entailed not just painting, we learned how to build and construct and understand materials and supplies and tools. So I do all of those things, and I think it was important and probably a good idea that I actually studied the arts and brought the music with me into the arts for my exhibitions and shows and projects and whatever else that I've done. So everything always falls into place with more than one skill for me. And then I just made these for my fur babies because we're going to take, I should have pulled these out sooner. Oops. Don't know if I can get these. Hold on. Let's see if I can grab them from here. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to walk over for a few seconds. I should have been a little bit more aware. Whoops. And we're going to do a whole cherry blossom. Oh shoot, something dropped. Whoops. Doesn't matter, I'll pick it up later. A whole cherry blossom thing. So I just finished making these for my fur babies. So in fact, I indeed make art and clothing and whatever else that needs to be done during a certain time to create the aesthetics and the visuals for certain projects. I should just put this up here. This one's great because I can use it for soundproofing. Oops, oops. For that. And then if you want to see my art, I like pulling this out sometimes, my Superman watercolor. So yes, I in theory do 2 skills in one. So my show will bring up fashion, my show will bring up art, and my show will bring up music, even though it does say Compose Music with Sinta Margot. I don't stick with one type of skill because I do think when you start a business or a project, it's always important to have multiple skills. People say things like, oh no, don't focus on one type of thing, but everybody's different. We've all had different experiences. We've all grown up differently, and I've grown up in a background where all of those were acceptable, and my parents just agreed and approved with all the skills that I was capable of doing, and I advanced in all the skills separately, but together, if you know what I mean. So that's my story. So this is a good video so I can remember. might make this into a little bit more of a classically driven composition. I haven't done that in a while. With a beat like this would be kind of cool. Let's see. So that's like the introduction, right? So yeah, and I can record that and stuff. That will happen later. So that's basically a little bit of the clip of today. Yeah, thank you for popping over. I'm not going to do a very long video. If you're interested in more information, check out the channel. I guess I'm promoting right now. I'm switching from doing Facebook all the time to doing YouTube a little bit more frequently because I feel a little less stressed over here, which is good. I think there's a lot of pressure and things that are going on that side. So we're switching the angle now, and I'm moving here a little bit more frequently. Thank you again for popping over, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. And obviously, since this is live, this will be visible for people to see, and then they can watch the whole entire process. I talk about the arts, I talk about the music, and I talk about the fashion. So even though I do music, or say I do music, I do 3 different skills. And those skills are always discussed in different angles and sections within the show. Because I'm not the same as everybody else. Who wants to be like everybody else? I am different, and I've accepted it, and that's what it is. Thank you again, folks. I much appreciate it, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. Bye.